Well, good morning. It is good to see you this morning. I am thankful that you have braved the weather once again and come to worship. I told the first service that I have declared this is the last Sunday of cold weather. So this is it. From now on, it's going to be warm till next winter. Amen? Amen. It is good to have you this morning. I'm glad that you have come to worship. This morning we have a special guest speaker with us. For a number of years now, we've been looking at and I've been talking about the possibility of us participating with the Ukrainian church plant movement that's been going on through the Future Leadership Foundation. And we had a Ukrainian speaker here probably about 5 years ago, and he spoke. And this morning we have another Ukrainian pastor who's going to come and share with you his story. And first service, I was inspired, and I think you will be also as you listen and hear what God is doing. I'm so thankful. I get so excited in looking at and seeing that God is doing some amazing work all around us, in all the world. I don't know if you get the Pathway, our Baptist paper, our convention paper, but it's exciting to see some of the things at Fort Leonard Wood. I don't know if you realize this, but there's been a revival going on at Fort Leonard Wood. Over 300, I think it's like 323 soldiers now have made professions of faith within just the last few weeks. They're having a great movement of God there. There's another community within Missouri who has seen a great move of God within their population that have been struggling with addiction. And God is saving people out of that and doing some amazing work. And then we see him at work just so many places. And he's at work also in the Ukraine. And as Eldon comes to share with us, I want you to pray for him. And then also pray that God would continue to show us, right, how we need to be involved, where we need to be involved. You as a church have been so generous and so giving in the past, and I'm so thankful for that. We exceeded our goal for our Annie Armstrong offering, which is amazing. And we're in the position and the place now to continue to move forward, following the leadership of the Spirit that he has had us bring us together as his body here. And so I want you to listen and hear and pray. What would God speak to you through the words that Eldon will come in and present to us? Pastor, would you come and share with us?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for invitation. Glad to be here. My name is Yelisei Pronin. I'm from Ukraine. I was born and grew up in an unbeliever family. My name in Ukrainian language means Elisha, and it's really unusual because I grew up in an unbeliever family. Our grandfather, he was a communist, very strong communist. And in our home, we never had a Bible. We did not go to the church. We did not pray. We did not even talk about God. It was completely atheistic background. And one day, my mom, she worked as a teacher in kindergarten. She was walking from job to home, and just by accident she met a group of people, and it was really strange people. It was a group of people from Europe, and they were sharing something. They were singing about God, they were sharing testimonies about Jesus, they were sharing New Testaments, and she just stopped and she was listening. And she got understanding God is real, God exists. She understood she is a sinner and he is a holy. She understood God decided or get solution for this problem. And she truly believed in Jesus Christ, who died for all our sins. And he took all our punishment. The same day she received Christ, repented and became Christian. And she joined Baptist church. And after that, she started work with us. She started invite us to church. She started tell us about God. and she was praying about us, and by her testimony, all our family became Christians, include our communist grandfather. He also became a Christian. Yeah, and it's really amazing. But you know, I mean, I did not share about that at the first service, but right now I think it probably with some people, they were invited come to Ukraine and share gospel with people. And they were listening during the service and they were thinking, should we go or should we? But they came and they shared gospel. And they reached, or God reached the goal through them. And because of that, all my family, it's Christian family right now. It's amazing. I received Christ. I see like many young people, I won't mention about that also a little bit. I received Christ, the last one. My mom became Christian when I was 15 years old. And she asked me join her and go to the church and read Bible. And I was thinking about that. And as I understood, God will not allow me to do what I wanted to do. I really wanted to go to some bad places. I thought many really cool things. There are in this world so many cool things. And all these things can make me happy. I was thinking about alcohol, about drugs, about girls, about crime and other things. And I truly believed if I will do all these cool things, I will be happy. And I told to my mom, please don't touch me. Let me be just free. Let me be completely happy. And please don't tell me even about God. And 3 years I tried to do all kinds of things I wanted to do. And I truly believed it will bring joy in my life. But at the end, when I was 18 years old, I was addicted. I was completely destroyed by drugs. And I was completely disappointed in my life. And I was thinking, what should I do? And just one way I did not try go to. It was walk with God. And I decided to follow what Mom was telling me. And I decided to dedicate my life to God. Maybe He will change my life. And I did. And miracle happened. God changed my life. It was amazing. I became completely new. And it had been 20 years ago. It happened 20 years ago. And I have never regret, or I never was disappointed about my decision. Because life with God, it's really cool life. It's really joyful and happy life. That's just my thoughts for young people. Anyway, you can see picture, it's my family. I have a wife and we have 2 kids. Our oldest daughter, Viola, she is 18 years old. And for her, it's good news. She wants to be like older and more independent. But for me, it's a bad news. I am getting older. My son, David, he is 8 years old. And third boy, we met him when we moved to the western part of Ukraine. He was destroyed because his father died. Some bad people, crime people, wanted to rob him. He worked as a taxi driver. And they took a gun and he got a heart attack. And that boy, he grew up in an unbeliever family and he was destroyed and depressed. And we invited him to our home small group. I shared with him gospel and he received Christ and became a Christian. And right now he's in seminary and he wants to be a missionary and really excited about him. 1 year ago, his mom passed away. It's really tough for this boy and we brought him and he lived with us as a part of our family. That's my family. I'm from Ukraine and I show you the picture Soviet Union because Ukraine for 75 years was part of Soviet Union. And 1991 Ukraine got independence and we became independent country, like right now, independent country. All our eastern borders, it's Russia, and western borders, it's a good country, like Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, good countries. I was born and grew up in this place. It's the eastern part of Ukraine, almost on the border with Russia. Just maybe, I don't know, 50 miles from Russia. Really, really close. That's my town, not really big. Very small, very comfortable. Around 40,000 just in the city. And 2014 war came into our town. Putin took Crimea, south of Ukraine, and started war at the eastern part. And my town was destroyed by war, by bombing. And my church, I was pastoring the largest church at the eastern part of Ukraine. We had more than 300 members for Ukraine. It's a really big church. It's like a mega church. Yeah, and it was really living church, really active church. We had different kind of programs like home small groups and Sunday school classes and summer camps and rehab center for addicted people. And I was really excited about our ministry. Everything was perfect and successful. But also my church was destroyed, the same church building, because of the war. And it was not only war, it was also persecution, because Russian troops, they wanted me and wanted our church support them. They wanted me to talk with people at the city meetings and tell them something like Putin, he is a good guy and we need to be obedient to him, support him, and for us much better be part of Russia than be part of Ukraine, something like that. And when I told them I will not do it, they were really mad at me. And they started persecuted us and threatened us, and I was hiding my kids and my family, and they promised burn down our church building. And when we did evacuation of the people during the war, during the bombing, it was really needed, because it was really difficult time. Many buildings were destroyed. All supermarket or stores was destroyed, and it was impossible to buy food. We were cut off completely. We lost running water and electricity and gas and cell phone connection, internet connection, because of the war. It was really difficult time, and even when people were wounded by shrapnel, by bombing, it was not possible to go to pharmacy or hospital to get any relief or help because of the war. Many people died, many buildings were destroyed. And we started to do evacuation of the people. And when we did evacuation, while we were doing that, Russian troops, they came into our church building and they put gasoline and they destroyed our church building by fire. After that evacuation, we organized several refugees camps for refugees, because it was 1,000 people. They lost their homes, they lost their businesses or jobs, as we did. And my town is still occupied by Russian troops. It's still war zone and war still going on. But some news just keep silence about that. I wrote a book about that. It's my book. It's about the war, about my experience, about our ministry during the war. You can get it after the service. And when we organized several refugees camps, many people from refugees camps, they received Christ, because every day we had like prayer time, we did Bible study with all these people, and many of them received Christ and became a Christian. It's a good part of our story. Many of them were baptized. I baptized them in September. It was pretty cool, and we baptized them at the lake. But it was really, really exciting, because we could see how God saves people. The most important thing in this world, salvation. And after that, we were really tired, because of all kind troubles happened with us, because of war and persecution and ministry. All my family, we moved to US. We had been living 1 year long in Kansas, nearby you. One pastor's family invited us. And we wanted to stay just 1 month, just recover, just raise some support. And we expected, we thought our town will be liberated by Ukrainian army. And we were waiting when our town and city will be free, and we can come back and rebuild our church building and continue our ministry. And we were waiting 1 month, 2nd month, and 3rd month, and all year long. And our town still occupied by Russian troops. And I really wanted to come back to Ukraine, but it was not possible because, we had apartments, but our apartments was destroyed by war. I had a big business, and my business was destroyed by war. I was pastoring the biggest church, and church supported me really well. But my church building was destroyed by fire. My church community scattered in different places of the world because of the war and persecution. And we did not have any place go to in Ukraine. And I was praying about that. And I got invitation from Ukrainian Baptist Theological Seminary located in Lviv. It's the western part of Ukraine. We lived at the east. Right now we moved to the west, all our family. Summer 2015, we returned to Ukraine. And it was a really tough decision because kids and wives, they really, really like Americans' life. It's much better than in Ukraine. I will not tell you, but I really miss many things. I miss people, especially here, friendly people, When you walk somewhere, people just wave hands and say, "Hi, how are you?" Seriously. And I try to do the same here, it works. But it does not work in Ukraine. People unfriendly. I tried to smile somebody and say, "Hi," and they thought I'm crazy. I really miss friendly people. I miss milkshakes from Sonic. Okay, I will stop, because I miss too many things. Seriously, when you live here, you just do not notice. God gives you so many blessings and peace, and it means a lot. It was a really tough decision, but my family supported me, and we returned to Lviv, to Ukraine, and started our new ministry. It's a big city, 1 million population right now. We started to do ministry for refugees. We decided to plant new church for all these people who moved from east to the west. About 2 million people, they moved because of the war to the western part of Ukraine. And we realized it's really important to plant new church for them because we speak the same language. Eastern part of Ukraine speaks Russian, because Russia around us, and everybody speaks Russian. Western part of Ukraine speaks Ukrainian. And for all these refugees, it was really difficult to adjust culture and language and other things. And that's why it was really, really useful and helpful for them when we started work with them and we speak the same language. And one more good thing, we came through the same circumstances of the war. Their city was destroyed and our city was destroyed. They lost their property, we lost our property. They know what war does mean, and we knew about that. And because of that, we were able to build connection with all these people. And we started to do ministry, and we started share gospel with all these people. At first, I was really confused about that, really confused. Because when we started our church service, it was just couple families, maybe 6, 8 people around me, and I was looking around and I thought, is it really church? Because my experience I had at the East, we had a really big, nice building in the center of our town. We had a bunch of people, 300 members. We had a choir and praise band and home small groups and programs, everything. And when we started to do some new church, I was looking around. Everything was so small and so simple. And I thought, is it really church? And God started work with me, and He has changed my thinking about church. Church is not about building. Church is not about crowds. If you want to see crowds, you should go to the Cardinals Stadium. Church is not about crowds or buildings or programs. Church is about people who love God. And when I got that understanding, I realized that's fine for me if I will be pastor for 8 or 10 people. That's fine. It's still church. I still can be useful for them. We started with 2 families, and right now we have 51 members in our church. And every Sunday we have attendance. Just now got information about our service. We have around 100 people attendance, visitors. And we do ministry for refugees, and God is working. God is saving people, and God is growing our ministry, and we're really, really excited about that. I started my ministry in seminary, and it was really difficult decision for me. I was a pastor, and I really did not like any seminaries and any theological education. I don't know, maybe I should not tell you about that, but it is what it is. I really did not like it. Many times in my church, when I was a pastor, some young guys, they came to me and they asked me, give me a paper and signed paper and sent me to seminary. And I did. As a pastor, I would send them to the seminary, and I expected after a year or couple years, they will return and they will be good helpers for me. They will be good ministers for the people. But in reality, every time when they were coming back to our church, they had one big problem. They had extremely big heads and extremely small hearts. It was a problem. It was big heads full of knowledge, and it was extremely small heart. And they were not able to love people, serve people, be humble servants for the people, you know. And I was really disappointed about that. I really did not want to be part of this educational process. But our seminary got a new president, and he got completely new vision. It's new vision not about us, how smart we are and how many diplomas we have at our walls. It's vision about local churches who are sending students to us. We really want to help them. We really want to do ministry for them. And our goal is we want to help local churches to grow, reach new people, baptize new people. And that's vision of our ministry, vision of our seminary. And our mission, we want train and we want equip new leaders for our churches, different leaders, for kids, for teenagers, for youth, for young couples, for older people, different leaders for they can do that ministry. And we teach them three main values in our seminary. We teach them be biblical. That means not only know something about God from the book. Bible teaches us how to love God. How can we love God? And biblical, that means we teach them love God by being obedient to His word. That's what it means. Next value, we teach them be missional. And missional, it's not just, we like be missional here. Be light around the light. But we really want to teach them and send them, be light in this world. Be light in places where it's really dark, where people really need salvation. That's our value. And we really want all of them be missional. And we also teach them be accountable. That means they need to take responsibility about something. Not just, I will preach about that a little bit. Not just think or in the right way. Not just evaluate something. Not just approve or say, oh, that's good, that's bad. But also just take responsibility and do something with their spiritual gifts or abilities they have. And I'm here because seminary sent me, and we try to build some new connections with pastors and churches, and we suggest people be part of our ministry. And cooperation number one, it's church planting. I work as a director church planting program in our seminary. And we have 40 students, 45 students, and half of them real church planters. And it's really needed to plant some new churches in Ukraine. That's why Ukraine has population more than 40 million people. That's our population. And we have just a little bit more than 100,000 members. That means 0.3% of our people in our country, they know at least something about God, you know. And that's why it's so important to plant new churches and reach all these people, unbeliever people around us. Ukraine has 30,000 cities and villages, but we have just 2,300 Baptist churches. It's difficult to imagine, but almost 28,000 places in Ukraine do not have churches. And it's impossible for people to get connected with Christians and hear gospel. That's why we need plant new churches. And our way or our vision for that, we want support our student. We won't teach him. We won't give him skills. We won't equip him and send him to the missionary field. Next step, it's local church. Local church gives us a student and also support him at his missionary field by financial support, by people involved in his ministry. And third part, it's sister's church from US. Maybe your church could be. Also know about him, pray about him, and support him financially. In this way, our students, they are successful because they have support from seminary, from local church, and from sister's church, and they are not alone in their ministry. And 20-hour church planters, they are really successful ministers, and God is working through them. Partnership with UBTS, that means you can adopt one church planter, and it looks like local church plus support from US church, and that's enough to cover all his expenses with staying in seminary and with working at the missionary field. It's one opportunity. Second opportunity, War Zone Scholarship. It's like my pain because I'm originally from eastern part of Ukraine, and just 3 weeks ago we were there. We did pastors' conference and we did youth conference. And you know, all this place, all this area really needed gospel right now. Many distractions, impossible to find job. People are, completely destroyed and depressed because of the war. And that's what we decided to do. We realized we need to help pastors and local churches in this region. How can we help them? You know, when we were there, we could see crowds of the people in churches. Why? Because people, they are looking for help. Not only help, like some crops or food or clothes. They also looking for encouragement. They're looking for hope. They completely helpless and hopeless because of the war, circumstances of the war. And it's really similar situation. I was baptized in 1997. The same day, the same year I was baptized, the same day, 80 people, they were baptized with me, 80. Can you imagine this crowd? And hundreds of people, 300-400 people, they were receiving Christ during the year. But you know what? Churches and pastors, they were not prepared for such a big crowd. And they did not know how to do home small groups or disciple people. They did not know how to train them or help them grow in their faith. And what happened? We lost many of these people. I would say 90% of these people, they gone, they disappeared. Because churches and ministers, they were not equipped or prepared for that. And right now it's very similar situation at the eastern part of Ukraine, because people are coming, but that's not enough ministers there. And we want to prepare and equip new ministers. And our seminary, we decided we will provide free war zone scholarship for students from the war zone. And we ask you, you can help us with that free war zone scholarship. You can adopt one of our students and support him, and he will get education and skills and tools in seminary, and he will come back, return to his place at the eastern part of Ukraine, and he will do ministry for the people. Cooperation number 3 is building. That's really important. Church, it's not about building, but it's really important for us. You can see a project. In 2014, we had just 35 students. Right now, we have 600 students. Our vision, it's really needed vision for Ukraine, and pastors understood that. And many students and young people, they need spiritual formation and mentorship, and our seminary provides that. And that's why we have 600 students, but our facilities, our place, it's still the same. It's incredible crowd. It's impossible to do something with so many people. And we bought a new building. It's not new. It's really, really old, and it's need to be repaired. And we started like campaign. We tried to raise money to do reconstruction of that building. And you can participate in also in this. Many opportunities: War Zone Scholarship, Church Planting Project, support our building campaign. Like, if God will put some desire in your heart, just share with Pastor, and he knows how to figure out that. He invited to Ukraine, and I hope I will see him in Ukraine, and he will personally be in touch with all our projects. And one verse from the Bible I really want to share with you. If you would open Gospel Matthew, chapter 14, you will see, when you will open, you will see a big, big miracle. That's miracle when Jesus fed 5,000 people, and they did not count women and kids. It's a big miracle. But when you open the Bible, you will see, or you will discover, this miracle started with big, huge problem. The problem was Jesus was teaching and healing people, and it was really, really, how to say, desert. It was like really far away from city or from villages or from supermarket, and people were staying with Jesus all day long. And they get tired, of course, but it was a bigger problem. They were really hungry. When I'm hungry, I'm angry. And it was 5,000 hungry men at that place. And they were really, really bad situation. And it's really interesting when you would look at the text, you would find disciples. They discovered that problem. They were walking around this hungry and angry men, and they understood they need to do something with that. They were sorry about this situation. And they came closer to Jesus, and they asked him, let people go. And they will go, and they will find place, and they will find food or something like that. It was their proposition. The good thing about disciples, they had compassion. What does it mean? Because when they were around people, they could see their needs. They were able to feel what people feel. That means compassion. It's really important for us, we disciples of Jesus Christ. It's really important for us, don't be blind. When we look around, very often we are not able to see pain or sufferings or needs around us. If we have compassion in our hearts, we will not be blind. We will notice. We will discover needs and pain and suffering and people around us. We need to be compassionate. It's first step. But Jesus replied, verse 16. Jesus replied, they do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. If we would look at the Jesus, we would understand he was different than disciples. They had compassion. They discovered needs of the people. And they were sorry about that, and they suggested, let them just go. But Jesus had a mercy. He has a mercy. And difference between compassion and mercy, compassion, it's when you look and you feel something bad, like drug abusers, or addicted people, or poverty, or some sicknesses, and you would say, oh, I'm so sorry about that, it's bad. But it's compassion. But mercy, Jesus has a mercy. he said, no, you need to do something with that. We need to feed them. We need to take care about them. The difference, it's responsibility. The first step, it's just compassion, discover needs. But second step, I will personally take responsibility. Give me a couple loaves of the bread. And he took just couple pieces of the bread, and he was praying, and he broke the bread, and he gave, and they started distribution, and they fed 5,000 people. I mean, miracle will happen in our life when we will be compassionate, and when we will be merciful, when we will be ready to take responsibility, when we will be ready to take care about something, not just feel something. I can give you a good example. You have a hand pain. Your hand hurts. And you came to the doctor and you told him, it's so painful. I can't move my hand. It hurts. Something wrong. It's black color or something like that. And doctor would say to you and say, oh, man, I'm so sorry. You got troubles. It's really difficult. Yeah, I bet. Wow. So sorry for you. That's all what I can do for you. Just sorry. If you want, I can cry together with you. Tears. Do you need this doctor? No. Probably your dog can do the same. What would you expect from the doctor? Yeah, you would expect, oh man, sorry. I know it hurts, but I will fix it. I know I will give you some medicine, I will give you some treatment, and your hand will be healed. What kind of doctor you really need? The same about us, about Christians. If we won't just be compassionate and look around and say, oh, so sorry, bad things happen in this world. It's compassion. It's not too bad. But much better if we will have mercy. Jesus, he had a mercy. And because of that, he made a miracle. He took responsibility. And he decided to take care about all these people. 5,000 people. He fed them. He was taking care about people. That's difference. And that's just my message today for all church, for all Christians. Let's be people who has compassion in our hearts. It's first. And second, let's try be people who has mercy like Jesus, who ready to take responsibility. And if we will be compassionate and merciful, I promise you, you will see many miracles in your life. May God bless you. Amen? Amen.